So, you know, bombs over Flint, you know. So that's crazy. It works. Just going on to downtown Flint. Yeah, I can make it right now. I'm like, nigga, I gotta go. Oh, hey. Good, how are you? That's good. So, we out here. Downtown Flint. On the strip. Right? South Saginaw, we down here. Trying not to get hurt by the free bullets. Burning out good. Exactly, because they flying over Churchill as we speak, y'all know. But really though, I guess there's some military stuff going on in a city full of people. This is not a, you know, a ghost town, but as you can see, people are walking around enjoying the nightlife in Flint. I don't know who that was, but we're gonna wave. There go the police, you know. It's crazy. Yeah. The city of Flint, Michigan. For some reason, we're having military urban exercises in the city of Flint. And this is not broadcast to the rest of us either. Talk about police state. Martial law. Talk about all of that. a.m. I just want to keep emphasis. This is what's happening in the city of Flint, in a city full. See that? I'm just saying. Do you see this, man? Do you see?
Bob Surratt, thank you for joining us. Our viewers called in describing men with automatic weapons hanging out of helicopters. Fox Chicago's Mike Flannery reports on this developing story live from Lakeshore Drive tonight. Mike?
Well, Bob, about 90 seconds ago, two choppers came zooming right up the Chicago River here, close enough almost for us to touch them. For those of you who saw the movie Transformers that was shot in this same area, there was a scene in there in which Special Forces elite fighters in helicopters in battle formation came in, vectoring in on the Trump Tower behind me. It was a scene not unlike that in various parts of the loop this evening. You know, there was a bland press release in early afternoon from City Hall that referred to, quote, a routine military training exercise. Well, there was nothing routine that folks reported about seeing the jarring, as they witnessed the jarring scene of at least 3 Black Hawk helicopters flying at times in close order formation, at other times separating fairly widely, zooming in and around residential office towers. We talked to several of those who were still a little bit shaken up by what they had seen.
And they were lower than my building, in between the towers, so that did make me slightly paranoid.
Port of Long Beach, and then military choppers swarm in. It's actually all part of a week of Special Forces training for Army pilots across Southern California. CBS 2's Chris Holmes from his live in Long Beach with more on tonight's big exercise. Chris.
Jeff, these military choppers have been flying in and out of this area for the past hour. We've also heard several explosions. In fact, I just heard one just a couple of minutes ago.
Good morning. God bless you. Shalom. Peace be unto you and yours. Let's get started. Over the past recent few years, the United States military, certain agencies and bureaus and contractors and local and state, and might as well go ahead and say federal law enforcement agencies with support, military support and whatnot, have been conducting exercises in cities all over the country. We first saw this taking place under the Obama regime. There was places, I believe, like in Boston. There was places out in California, Florida, if I'm not mistaken, Chicago, or maybe the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and even in my AOR in Indiana.
Fields mostly. First up, it's all eyes on the sky. Live pictures now from Phoenix. For the second night in a row, military training exercises are underway around the valley. And within the last half hour, the Phoenix Police Department has confirmed to 3TV that they are supporting Department of Defense training around the city. There have been a lot of helicopters seen all across the valley tonight.
We've been keeping a close eye on this. Our own Bruce Hafner has reported seeing military helicopters flying low over the Scottsdale area. We have several photographers out right now shooting some video, and this is just into our newsroom right here. New video of a few of those choppers flying over central Phoenix. Last night, the area near Sandra Day O'Connor High School was used
and heard not only in downtown Los Angeles, but in the surrounding areas as well. And people we spoke with were startled to see these military aircraft maneuvering so low to the ground. It looked like a scene from a war movie, a helicopter flying low in between buildings in downtown Los Angeles.
We don't think it was much higher than the steeple of the church across the street. They were low. They were very low. Low enough where you could see inside. I'm just assuming there was like a green neon.
America's founding fathers. They came over here, colonized America, made it the great land that we are today. You're saying they exterminated a whole race of
Jesse,
people?
you must have been educated
You don't
in Chicago.
really believe that, do you?
He was incredulously saying the founding fathers did this? Yeah, well, you can read Thomas Jefferson's own words where he talks about exterminating Native Americans. If we are constrained to lift a hatchet against any tribe, we will never lay it down until that tribe is exterminated or driven beyond the Mississippi. Thomas Jefferson to Secretary of War General Henry Dearborn, August 28, 1807. They have seduced the greater part of the tribes within our neighborhood to take up the hatchet against us, and the cruel massacres they have committed on the women and children of our frontiers, taken by surprise, will oblige us now to pursue them to extermination or drive them to new seats beyond our reach. Thomas Jefferson, letter to Alexander von Humboldt in 1813. Here's the actual communication. You're looking at a picture of the letter where they conspired to use germ warfare in order to exterminate Native Americans. They uncovered these letters where they actually plot biological warfare in order to exterminate Native Americans. Amherst first raised the possibility of giving the Indians infected blankets in a letter to Colonel Henry Bouquet, who would lead reinforcements to Fort Pitt. Bouquet discussed the matter in a postscript to a letter to Amherst on July 13, 1763. Here's a smoking gun. P.S. I would try to inoculate the Indians by means of blankets that may fall in their hands, taking care, however, not to get the disease myself. As it is a pity to oppose good men against them, I wish we could make use of this Spaniard's method and hunt them with English dogs, supported by rangers and some light horse, who I think would effectively extirpate or remove that vermin.
Coronavirus be used for bioterrorism? In 2014, the world avoided a horrific global outbreak of Ebola thanks to thousands of selfless health workers, the innate characteristic of the Ebola virus, and a lot of luck. Bill Gates said, if anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it is most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war, not missiles, but microbes. The source of the virus could be a natural epidemic like Ebola, or it could be bioterrorism. He warns that a respiratory pathogen can kill 30 million people in less than a year. He gave this warning a few years ago. Looking back at history of epidemics, Hispanic flu back in 1918 was spread through the air and more than 33 million people died in that global epidemic. Based on the Ebola outbreak that killed more than 10,000 people in Africa, there were no systems to prepare for a global epidemic. Ebola was contained due to several factors. We are grateful for lots of heroic work by the people who volunteered. We are lucky that Ebola does not spread through the air. By the time you are contagious, most people are so sick that they are bedridden. It did not get into large urban areas. With the coronavirus, people can catch the virus but they feel well enough to get on the plane, go to a market, or watch a movie instead of being bedridden like in Ebola. Looking back at historical biological terrorism, the first publicly recognized US bio attack was perpetrated by the Rajneeshis in 1984, but the attack was not officially attributed as a biological weapon attack until 1997. In 1984, followers of Indian guru Rajneeshi, who had open views on spiritual and sexual freedom, deliberately contaminated salad bars with salmonella in Dalles, Oregon, causing at least 751 known illnesses and 45 hospitalizations. The cult attempted multiple bio attacks in Japan during the early to mid-1990s, releasing botulism-causing toxins, then releasing sarin nerve gas in a Tokyo subway that injured 50 and killed 12 people. In the United States, powdered anthrax was employed through the USPS directed to several news organizations and senators, injuring 17 and killing 5 people in 2001. Biotechnology today allows biological weapon development to be conducted in extremely small areas with easily obtainable equipment. CRISPR is a technology for genome editing and is available online for about $150 for biohackers. This has been available in the last few years.
You know, instead of listening to young Pharaoh challenging Polite to a fight, you better pay attention to Black Light, because we got the kind of flavor that will save you and the kind of knowledge you won't get in college. Yesterday we said that this is the end of the Caucasian's rule. He knows it, but he ain't gonna go out easily unless you are asleep. So I'm referring to my subscribers as soul soldiers. Black Light out.